And for those who are not familiar, basically what you saw from Michael Hayes on that particular episode of Unreal when discussing Chelsea Green was talking about how, she's not a top person in the women's division because her job is to help make other people who are going to the top mix. And the way it was presented, it seemed like Hayes was saying she's already at her ceiling in this company and there was no room for upward mobility for her, which understandably left Chelsea a bit mortified online where, she's got a good spot. Hey, if you're in WWE making the kind of money they make now, you're in a good place. But nobody wants to hear that they've already gone as far as they can go. And so obviously she was a little bothered by that. And Mr. Hayes was trying to clarify his comments and let us know what we didn't see in that episode of Unreal that got cut, which, and I know you believe in this, you second it and you lived it because you were a guy for a period of time in your career who was someone who helped get other people ready. But part of the reason for that, there's actually a legitimate compliment in that role. Whether it and in the moment, I'm sure it's hard to take, but there's a real compliment to being a person in that role. And you were talking about that with me off the air. I'd love for you to talk about that on the air.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. We'll start back in the day. You mentioned, people look at you're a wrestler. You're in the first match, you're on the last match, you're on the middle match. You're a wrestler. Yeah, but like in football, you on short third down, you've got special guys that come in because they're special for that. Well, in our business, and I think it still stands to be the same, a lot of people, mid-card people, are sometimes the best performers on the damn show. And the reason for that is they're like the traffic cops, right? You bring this new guy into a territory. I'm talking territories back in the day, and you're going to build him up through a couple preliminary guys, and you're going to work him into a couple-week program with a mid-card. Let's say if the guy is a babyface with a mid-card heel, and you're going to get him a couple wins, get ready to move him on up the card, or if he's a babyface, or if he's a heel and the guy getting him over. But the point is, the guy that's stationed in that mid-card place is a worker who has to get you over as you're coming up. And he may work with you 2 weeks, couple weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But he also has to keep himself in decent shape visually with the rest of the fan base, because there's going to be somebody else coming up, in a few weeks, in a couple months, whenever. So the performer in that mid-card position sometimes is a better worker than the guys on top or the guys at the bottom. And so, it wasn't necessarily, I watched that segment of Unreal. I heard him talk about it. I thought, what a hell of a compliment. And then I found that poor Chelsea is, I guess, pouting and everybody thinking, oh my gosh. But no, it was a compliment. She, he means that, she could move you up past her and still be valuable to them in that same position. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But, as a performer everybody wants to be at the top, right? You probably don't get into this if you don't envision yourself as the top person in the company. So when someone is saying, well, you're already where you're best suited for us, or maybe even for your talents at this moment, I can understand why that would be disheartening. Sure. But it does take some reflection to understand that what he's actually saying is, you're so talented. We need you to help people understand that this other person belongs up here too. And so, it is using your talents in maybe the way you didn't necessarily envision, but it is a vote of confidence in you, in that they know that after this person is in the ring with you, they're going to be seen in a better light than they were before that match started.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So what actually the Freebird was saying was, it was a compliment, saying that, she's in a good spot. She may not go any higher, but she's important to us where she is, moving somebody else past up to her and then past her to the next level.